Hey YouTube, so it's JJ in the house. So I'm going to try this recipe here. It's a sweet potato pie, and this guy puts this pecan topping on top. It's kind of like flour and then pecans and all that, so we're going to try it. So I've got my pecans, I've got my flour, it's 3/4 cups of flour, 1 cup of pecans, and we're going to throw that in a teaspoon of salt. It's going to take a tablespoon or a teaspoon of, no, actually it's a teaspoon of cinnamon and 6 tablespoons of butter. Anyway, I'm going to try it because I think it's going to be, it looks like a really yummy recipe. And I'm going to take these and I'm going to crush them because, oops, one fell in. Excuse me. Anyway, I'm going to crush these because I think they're big and I want to have them more like a, crumble topping. So, let's see, half a cup of, I'm going to do half a cup of brown sugar. So half a cup of brown sugar is going to go in here. And the 3/4 of flour that I mentioned before. I already put in the salt. Let's get this cinnamon. This is my first time. I'm going to do half a teaspoon of cinnamon. Hopi. So, cinnamon. And I'm going to add a little bit of vanilla because I like vanilla and I think vanilla always adds a nice sort of flavor to everything. I'm going to do 2 of those. Why not? I'm going to melt that for about 30. So it's already melted and I kind of left it, I only put it for 33 seconds and it was really, really hot. So I'm letting it sit down for a little bit. Cool down for a little bit before I actually add it into my mixture. So let's see how that. I think we can add it now. So I'm going to dump that in here, and then I want to crush these, like I said. So I'm going to go crush those, and I'll be right back. So I'm going to transfer my pecans into a bag so I can smash them up a little bit without making a huge mess. And I've got this little hammer here that I'm just going to gradually break them up. That, and I'm going to dump that inside my topping, which I think is a really great idea. I love the idea of a sweet potato topping. I think that's awesome. I'm going to grab a spoon and mix that all together. Break it all up.
And after we're done making the sweet potato, because then we're going to make sweet potato filling, so I'll have to boil my sweet potatoes and I'll show you that. But basically, once you fill the pie, you'll be putting this.
I'm going to pause and I'm going to make my pie crust from scratch. Okay, so now we're going to make the pie crust. And I found this recipe from this girl named Foods 101 with Deronda. I never thought in a million years that I could make a homemade pie crust. And so anyway, I gave it a shot and it really worked. And my first pie came out really amazing and the pie crust was great. So I had to kind of use different things than she did because, like I said, I don't really stock my kitchen with a lot of ingredients all the time when it comes to baking. I'm a really good cook, but not an amazing baker. So anyway, in her recipe, she wants to use shortening, and I don't have shortening, but she did say you can put butter, so I'm going to use, I can't believe it's not butter. I like it. It works for me. And then you're going to use, and it has, and by the way, it has to be cold. It cannot be lukewarm. It can be tempered, room temperature. It has to be right out of the refrigerator cold because that's what makes the pie crust. Well, you'll see how it's going to work out. 1 cup of all-purpose flour, and then you need to have cold water with ice in it, and 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt. Now, she had this really cool baking mechanism, like this, I don't know, it's this thing that you grind the flour with, but I'm going to use my good old mashed potato one because it's all I have. And then I'm going to use my rolling pin, okay? So basically you put your flour in, you add your 1/8 of a teaspoon, that's how I measure mine. I need to get a spoon. So we're going to put 3 at a time because that's the way she explained it. It's better to grind the 3, and the reason why I'll show you. Oops. So now you're going to take this and you're basically just going to mash it up. Like you would mashed potatoes, but flour and butter.
And there's a reason for this. Because at first I was like, what? That's weird. Because like I said, I don't make it all the time. I actually like using the mashed potato one because for me it worked out perfect. You see, because I can also get all the excess out. You want to grind it like this so that
You have like a Parmesan grated kind of flour. So, and you keep mixing it. There's 3 more. So I've already put 3 tablespoons, and we're gonna add the other 3.
reason for this. Because at first I was like, what? That's weird. Because like I said, I don't make it all the time. I actually like using the mashed potato one because for me it worked out perfect. You see, because I can also get all the excess out. You want to grind it like this so that you have like a. The way she explained it was that you have like a
Parmesan grated kind of flour. So, okay, so now you've got a more gritty kind of consistency with it. You see, looks more like a. Now it really looks like Parmesan cheese from a bottle. But that's all that butter in there, and there's a reason for it to do it this way. So, doing it. So I'm gonna grab a spatula because basically it'll come together. So 6 of these. It's okay. There's butter in there. Who cares? And then you just mix it. So now it's forming into a ball. So that's basically the kind of texture that you want. So that you're able to pretty much get it into a ball, and then you're gonna roll it out. So you can grab it all, even the extra, get it all in there. Make it into a little ball, and we're gonna roll it out. So now we're gonna roll it out, and then we're gonna transfer, when it's rolled out, we're gonna put it into this pie crust, and then we'll have a homemade pie crust. I didn't really think it'd be that easy, but it is. Thanks to that girl. That was my daughter talking to me about squishes. So don't mind her. You just basically roll it all out till you get a pretty round. Hopefully this will come out the way I need it to. And sometimes you may have to come and sprinkle the bottoms, it might stick. You know, you just want to make sure you have a little extra. Keep rolling till you get a nice circle that'll fit your pie crust. A pie shell, sorry. Your pie, whatever. So I'm going to spray my pan. They didn't say to spray it or not spray it. But I always spray my pans, so that's just me. And I'm going to use this. So can't believe it's not butter, and spray all the edges because I don't like anything sticking on my pans. So that's just me. I don't know if it's right or wrong, but it worked for me the last time I did it. Basically, you're going to take your pan and put a little extra flour, and you're going to wrap your, maybe even make sure that, because it will stick. And then I'm going to transfer it into my pie. Hopefully it'll be enough. If not, we'll make it work. I did forget to share that when you do your pie, it's very important that you take a fork and you fork it around everywhere, because this is going to allow the heat to come through, and it won't, it'll bake better. So you want to make random little circles all inside to allow the air to go through while baking. Okay? And you just make those everywhere until you have just kind of, go like that all around. It's very important that you do this. Every video that I looked at said that it's important to do this, so make sure you do lots of holes. Okay. So I got my sweet potatoes, and I'm gonna peel them. As I've already peeled one. Basically, everybody knows how to peel a potato. I prefer to peel them than boil them whole. That's just my preference. It doesn't matter. And basically, I cut them in slices like this, and then I'm gonna downsize them into smaller pieces. peeled them all. Now I'm going to boil them on the stove for about 45 minutes until they're tender and soft and cooked. So I just wanted to show you that you need to add water and more cinnamon water when boiling. I think that's about enough. And then you put it on your stove top on high and bring to a boil until they're soft. We've got I've already drained the water out for my sweet potatoes, as you can see. And I put them in a bowl. Now, I'm using a separate sweet potato, mixture recipe that I found on YouTube. So I'm using that other guy's mixed with somebody else's. I like to get creative. So this one calls for half a cup of evaporated milk. We're going to put that in there. Half a cup of butter. Half a cup of brown sugar. And 2 eggs. So now we're going to blend them and make it all nice. There's other ingredients that go in there, but I like to do a little bit of time. All nice and creamy. Blending in all those ingredients. So we've blended the first part of the ingredients. Now we're going to do the rest. Now we're going to add, put that down. We're going to add vanilla extract, ground nutmeg, some ground cloves, and some cinnamon, and then half a cup of sugar. So here's half a cup of sugar. Now, the way I use my seasoning, the way I was raised was to measure to taste. Basically, I'm going to put what I need until it tastes right. Even though technically it's, a teaspoon of this, a teaspoon of that. But I like doing it that way because tasting it, then I know that it comes out exactly where I need it. So that's just the way I was raised to do it. Everybody bakes differently, so that's how I'm going to do my ingredients. Well, with the vanilla though, I'm going to keep it at 1 tablespoon because you don't want to ruin that portion. I don't want to, and this is a little big, but I know how to measure. Vanilla extract. I'm also going to measure the cinnamon because I don't want to mess it up. And then it did say, made my life a lot easier. And I'm going to add a teaspoon of that. Even though it is a tablespoon, but I know what a teaspoon looks like. I've been cooking long enough to know. Then I'm going to add some ground cloves. Just a little bit amount first. And then I'll mix it and then taste it. Oh, I'm sorry, that was ground nutmeg. And I know you have to be careful with the nutmeg because if you put too much, it totally takes away. I'm trying to open those. And finally, the ground cloves. The other one was nutmeg. So you don't want to put too much, Just a little bit more. Now we're going to blend it all. I love this little machine. Okay, so we've got all of our ingredients inside our sweet potato pie. I tasted it. It tastes amazing. So it was a great recipe from this girl. I think her YouTube name is Cooking Divas Know How to Cook or something like that. Anyway, she had a really easy sweet potato recipe. And then, of course, I used this other guy's recipe for the topping because I wanted to do a different sweet potato. So we're going to put this as a topping. It'll be like a crumb topping. So right now we're going to fill our pie crust that's been sitting in the refrigerator cooling. And I think that I'm going to have enough for 2 pies. So this will be great. Because 2 pies would be nice. Because I just know this is going to be a hit here. I'm going to smooth that out. This is going to be really yum. Yeah, I'm definitely going to have for 2 pies. For sure. I still have more left in here.
I love making homemade stuff. That's when it comes out good. And I think this one's going to be a hit. I'm going to ask my video recorder if she thinks that's enough. Which is my daughter Faith who's helping me record. So I think this will be another pie on this one. I think this should be plenty because we're going to put a topping on it.
We're going to take our topping that's in here and we're going to spread that all on top. And of course I'm going to get my fingers in there. And we're going to cover the top of the pie. This will be good.
Put a lot.
Oh, this is going to be amazing. I cannot wait till this bakes. In an hour, we'll be able to dive into this with a little cup of coffee or a glass of milk. It's going to be yummy.
It's looking pretty good. I may even save some of it for the second pie since I have for two. Or I could put more.
So we're done. This is what your finished pie should look like. Homemade crust, homemade filling, and then a crumbled topping on top. So I can't wait to try it. It's going to be 1 hour in the oven at, I believe, at 350. So we're going to bake it for half an hour, place in aluminum foil like the other guy did in his video, and then bake the other half with aluminum foil on top to make this top a little crispy. So we'll be back. So in it goes. 1 hour timer, and we're good to go. Minutes. Now we're going to place a piece of aluminum over it so that we can get a nice crispy top to all the topping on there, okay? So I just wanted to show it. So far it's looking amazing. And I'm so excited about my pie. I can't wait to bite into this. Okay, so my pie is completely cooked. It sat in the oven for an hour and it's really nice, crispy. As you can see, the sides are nice and crispy. So I'm real excited about it. Can't wait to try it. Now we're going to let it cool off and then we're going to taste it. So that's what your pie should look like. By the way, the guy that did this recipe, he had it really covered. Like, he had a lot of the topping, but I didn't want to add too much. So this works for me. So yay. I did try the batter before I filled it, so I know the pie tastes great. So anyway, thanks for joining me and watching this whole thing. You should try this pie. I think it'll be a hit at any Thanksgiving, Christmas, or even a little party event. So, all right, be blessed. I just thought to share with you guys that I have extra, so I actually had enough to make 2 pies. And this was 2 large sweet potatoes, so I was able to get 2 pies. So I am going to recommend that you save this and put this in, well, I'll hold that. We're going to put it in a container, in a snapware. These snapwares are really awesome, by the way. And you can put it for another pie. I should tell you that I had extra topping also, so it worked out perfect. Extra mixture, pie mix, and then topping. So I'm going to put this lid on and refrigerate it for another week and make this a week from now or a couple days from now. If the other one goes, maybe a couple days from now. So that's it. Thanks for watching. You guys can subscribe. I'm not a baker, but you can subscribe to my channel. I talk about different things and all that good stuff. Have a great day.